Hey guys, I'm finally back. It's been over a month since I posted my last video, actually almost 2 months soon. First, I was focusing on finishing the fall semester as good as I can. So I took one class and I was also TAing, so there was quite a few marking to be done at the end of the term, and then also I had to focus on preparing for the final exam, even though it was a take-home exam, so pretty much open book, but still it was challenging enough that even open book style helped, of course, but took a while for me to complete the exam. Also, mathematics is not my strongest point anyway, so that, of course, is the main reason that it took me so long. Anyway, so I was focusing on that, and then I thought to myself, okay, like, winter term will be over and I'll be back to posting after Christmas. But it never happened, because as soon as I was done with all the responsibilities for the full term, I found myself in some sort of winter slump. It was like a situation where I was feeling really tired, sluggish. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to go out of the house. I would just literally want to hide under the blanket, don't go anywhere, don't meet anybody, and kind of hibernate. And so now I'm finally getting back into the routine. New semester has started, and I think I'm on the right track to get back to normal. This happens every year for me. I don't know. It's probably the super cold winters here in Canada and very short days, because the amount of sunlight we receive in December and January is really affecting me a lot. And now that the days are getting longer, I naturally start to feel a little happier. And I also got my mark back for my exam that I took. I got a B in that class, which I'm really happy about, because I knew that I'm nowhere near at the level where I could claim an A, but I'm really happy with the B. Now I'm finally also wrapping up writing my scientific paper. It's been a roller coaster. It's been a pretty eye-opening experience, I must say, because I never thought that writing a paper would take me a whole semester. Well, it was my first paper, but nevertheless, I actually did finish my master's thesis within a month. Like, it was much easier to write my thesis, which was almost 90 pages long, as compared to writing this paper, which is, when printed, probably will be only like 7 to 8 pages. So condensing the work that I've done throughout my master's to only a few pages was really difficult, and distilling the information to the most crucial and interesting stuff was, it's an art to be learned, or it's a skill to be learned, and I still have a long way to go here. But it's almost done, and I really hope that it will be published rather sooner than later. So it appears to be at this point that there's like probably one more final round of revisions to do, minor things here and there, before I can submit. And then fingers crossed, it will get published without much difficulty. So, but again, that's my wishful thinking. How that's going to happen, we'll see. And I'll keep you updated. Actually, it's funny, like when I started writing this in September, I was so enthusiastic. I thought, okay, that's not going to be super difficult. It's, it's just going to take me a couple of weeks, at most maybe a month, and then I can have a nicely written scientific paper. And then it didn't. And I came across, like, throughout that semester, at some point, I think it was like maybe in November, early November, I came across a diagram, something called Dunning-Kruger effect, which I could really relate to. So if you take a look at this graph, in the beginning, I was somewhere at the top, blissfully ignorant, thinking that I know everything and I'm a pro at this. And then after, I don't know, probably a 5th revision or something, I got so disheartened, I thought I will never be able to get this done. And so eventually I found myself in this valley of despair. And right now I think I'm somewhere between the valley of despair and on the slope of enlightenment. And so I'm starting to appreciate all the effort that people put into very well written scientific papers, because I know myself, like if I'm reading a paper, and sometimes like it feels so complicated, it feels so difficult to understand. And there are some papers which you just feel that the person is just gifted at what he or she is doing, and gifted at writing and describing the whole thing. in a way that's understandable, even though it's still very technical and dense scientific information, and sometimes, or a lot of times, difficult to digest. I'm close to be done, and let's see what happens next. So now what's the plan for the winter term? It has started already. Initially, I thought I will be taking only one class, which is Electrodynamics by Jackson, based on this textbook. This is like a classical textbook for E&M at the graduate level. And I also chose not to be a teaching assistant this term because I wanted to focus to get a good grade in this class, and I wanted to have a little bit more time for my research. But last week I was offered to join another class, which is more on the experimental side of physics, and it's about nuclear techniques and experimental magnetism, which is basically teaching about how to do Mossbauer spectroscopy, different other types of spectroscopies like NMR, so nuclear magnetic resonance, electron spin resonance, and that type of stuff. How to do them, how to interpret the results, how to describe your findings, and things like that. And that is supposed to help me with also reading experimental papers as well, or papers based on the experimental results, because I'm a computational physicist or computational physics student, and I'm not necessarily really familiar with experimental stuff. And so sometimes it's really difficult for me to read papers that are written by somebody who publishes experimental results. So now I ended up with 2 classes, and my workload is now higher than I anticipated, but still, thankfully, I'm not TAing, and I still think this will be interesting. Now, me and my supervisors also have figured out what I'm going to do next for my PhD project and what type of stuff I will be working on. And I will be describing this in more detail in the next video related to my academic journey, probably sometime next week. That's the goal. I did write the script for this video, but I still have to film it. I wanted to make it a little bit more detailed so that you get an idea of what it is that I will be working on for, I don't know, the next 6 months maybe longer. We'll see. Now going forward, I realized that it also will be nice to post 2 videos per week. That will be ideal, of course. One for the part of my viewership who are here for my academic type of content, and another is more tech and Linux and coding related. And I really hope to be able to find a good routine to make it happen, because doing those kind of weekly updates is the easier type of videos to make. They don't require that much research. It's basically sharing what I've learned for the past week, and in general my feelings and experiences and things like that. But those more technical videos that are related to Wayland and Linux and coding, they do require more research, more time to put a decent video together and make sure I don't say something that is not correct, though that sometimes still happens, I think, but I try my best. Anyway, I'm back and ready to get to work and share more stuff with you guys. And I wish you a good, successful, happy and healthy 2025. And I'm looking forward to your comments. Share how you've been. Let me know what you would like to see from me in terms of my, school-related updates, or maybe something else. Because honestly, this part of content, I'm not really that sure what you guys would like to see. I think on the technical side, I'm going to stick to Linux/Wayland type of content for a little while, because I figured that narrowing down the focus of the channel a little bit really helps growing it. And so I'm going to be doing just that for the next, I don't know, a month to trying to stay focused before going broader again. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.